is still sleeping? Hi, you guys. Good morning. It's Saturday morning, the 16th of May, and anyway, we got a little bit of a late start this morning. I might throw everybody off a bit. Anyway, just to tell you what we do on lately, in the mornings, I've been reading from this little book called the 24-Hour Day Book, and it's a book that was written in the 50s by, what is that guy's name? Do you remember? No, I should get that and remember to give him credit for this book. Anyway, a fellow wrote this book, maybe the only book he ever wrote, but it was an amazing book, and many, many millions of people have used it as an inspirational book on a daily basis. It's called 24-Hour Day Book. It has a thought for the day, a spiritual thought for the day, based on the 12 steps, and a meditation for the day, and a prayer for the day. So it's quite beautifully done, and so I just decided that I would read it. Hi, Heather. And that's what I'm doing. So we'll read you this from this book today, and hopefully it's something there. Hi, Lorley. Something here that will be of some inspiration. So it's the 24-Hour Day Book, and it's based on the 12-step program with thought for the day, meditation for the day, and a prayer for the day. So it just takes a few minutes, and here we go. May 16th. It says AA Thought for the Day. In the story of the Good Samaritan, the wayfarer fell among robbers and was left lying in the gutter, half dead. And a priest and a Levite both passed by on the other side of the road. But the Good Samaritan was moved with compassion and came to him and bound up his wounds and brought him to an inn and took care of him. The short story of the Good Samaritan. The question is, do I treat a fellow alcoholic like the priest and the Levite, or like the Good Samaritan? Hey, Jason. Do I treat a fellow alcoholic like the priest or the Levite, or like the Good Samaritan? One of the spiritual principles, I guess, in AA and in the 12 steps is that we do. There's a whole chapter actually called Working with Others. We do reach out and help others, not on a casual basis, but really as what could possibly be the most important thing in our lives. So, and maybe not just like the Good Samaritan, who would do it only when opportunity arises. Many of us in the 12-step world do it daily, and just to it's part of our life to reach out to the alcoholic that's still suffering, or the addict that's still suffering, because often the priest or the Levite, you people in the medical profession don't know what to do with us, and we're a hard lot to work with, because it's very hard for the alcoholic or the addict to tell the truth from the fiction. We're very caught in the dream, and usually the dream of the alcoholic and the addict is, I'll be okay next time. It's all right. I'll be fine. I'm better now. Even, once he's heard the message really clearly, the ego creeps in and says, I'm okay. I've been sober for 6 months, and I should be able to drink. And even though that's a crazy, crazy, crazy thought, it becomes overwhelming. And that's the nature of the disease. And so many times the minister or the priest is baffled. Again, it's know what to do with that guy because and so we are really in some cases the only people that can help because we understand the obsession. And so, do I treat the fellow alcoholic like the priest and Levite or like the Good Samaritan? So that's the job. The meditation for the day. Never weary in prayer. When one day, I think I'm going to need my glasses. Here we go. Here we go. This is the meditation for the day. Never weary in prayer. That's a sentence, a full sentence. Never weary in prayer. When one day you see how unexpectedly your prayer has been answered, then you will deeply regret that you have prayed so little. Yes. Prayer changes things for you. Practice praying until you trust in God, until your trust in God has become strong. And then pray on, because it has become so much a habit that you need it daily. Keep praying until prayer seems to become communion with God. That is the note in which true times of prayer should end. Okay, keep praying until prayer seems to become a communion with God. That is the note on which true times of prayer should end. Wow. This business of prayer. Hey, James, this business of prayer. In my family, 4 out of 5 of us, so 3 of my siblings and myself, got sober. And I believe, and we believe, that it was our mother's prayers. That many, many years ago, my mom was what we called a prayer warrior. She spent hours in prayer, hours and hours in prayer. And we believe that her prayers were instrumental in helping us to find a new way of living and to find God and to find, sobriety in our lives. And so I talked yesterday about prayer briefly. Yes, I pray. And, I've had this guy actually I've been communicating with who is, challenging me on whether there is a God or not. Because in his mind, I can't prove that there's a God. And so we've had some interesting discussions around that. And what I know is what I've seen. So my proof is anecdotal. And is that how you say it? Anecdotal? Yeah. Anecdotal. Yeah. So my proof is that I know because I've experienced, and we call them actually often God shots. It's like, wow, did you see that? That was so cool how that all fell together. And hi, Ravi. So prayer for me is, I can't imagine not being in prayer, not stopping and dropping in and communicating with, God as I don't understand him. God as I can't describe him. But my experience is that I have this connection. And, the difference between the relationship that I have with this higher power that I choose to call God, or universal intelligence, or Father of Light, or the isness, the great I am, all of the names that there are for the thing that we can't describe. So for me, it's not I know about this, or I've read about this. I experienced this. And so I don't have any trouble, talking to this gentleman about whether there is or there isn't, whether it's subjective or objective. there is, in my experience, there is a power in the universe that I can't define that seems to be I'll call it interested in us, and for us, if we take the time to communicate with it. We take the time to drop out of all of our ideas of what should or shouldn't be into allowing, into acceptance. So prayer, just try it, and not necessarily for things. My prayers aren't, oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? No. Little Janis Joplin prayer. It's not for stuff. For me, it's for consciousness, awareness of the laws of the universe and of myself. And he does talk to me. So maybe I'm crazy, but I have this relationship, and I think we all do. And maybe for some of the some of the folks, have a relationship with knowledge that they find soothing, and my relationship with God is this, really is in the not knowing, not in the knowing. I find that my ego can trick me, so I recognize that there's so much I don't know, and I just be in that each day, in this moment. And where do I connect with God? In this moment, in prayer, in meditation, and in service. When we are the Good Samaritan, like the thought for the day here, we're actually, I believe, doing God's work, and so it's a beautiful thing. And I have also a huge desire to know him, her, it, whatever we want to call it. It's hard because our mind talks in concepts, and it can't be described. So I've done the thought for the day, the meditation for the day, now the prayer for the day. I pray that I may form the habit of daily prayer. I pray that I may find the strength I need as a result of this communion. Beautiful prayer. So thanks, you guys. Just let that sit. Pray that I may find the strength for daily prayer. This is a daily practice. Discipline is required. Thanks for dropping in. Love you guys. Little prayer and meditation is a beautiful thing. Prayer is speaking to God, and meditation is listening. Okay, bye.